So here we are, folks, after 5 years starting from scratch. Not really, but it certainly feels like it today. Over 800 videos, 174,000 subscribers, all until a few months ago, when they started to effectively, slowly, gruelingly wipe out my sub count. Views dropped methodically day after day, week after week, pretty much as soon as that farcical election ground to the inevitable conclusion they desired. You know, I always told myself when this day came I would not make this video. Because like a lot of you out there, it's pretty much like watching a good buddy go back with that girlfriend that keeps treating him like crap. Anyways, I want to thank everyone for making the move over to my secondary channel here. This was basically a place to store old videos, and if you're seeing this on BitChute, I appreciate you dropping by. Hope you like what you see, meaning in the other videos, of course, that are more focused on news and the perpetual clown show going on in our current body politic. And I certainly hope you stick around as well. I'm going to go ahead and get this all out of my system here in this video so we can move on with our lives. I'm not one for self-promotion much, and most of you seeing this most likely appreciate that about my content. So yeah, it finally happened, and in the typical cowardly way YouTube works. I flew under the radar for several years, I guess, and someone somewhere took a good look at the content and did not like what they saw. Of course, I was issued that email that everyone gets. Gee, we understand this may come as a disappointment, but under the Maoist doctrine we live by, wrongthink once discovered must be immediately eradicated or some kind of nonsense to that effect. And this was all really stated in that Silicon Valley language, that newspeak, so nice and polite. And that was it. Come to think of it, they never even sent me my 100,000 subscriber plaque that you see in the background of so many videos. But honestly, folks, we all knew this was coming. I knew this was coming on some level, and plenty of you warned me about it. I messed up. I screwed around for a while trying to set up a website, but nothing really came of it. I didn't spread out into other platforms consistently. But you see, what's not talked about or focused on enough by other content creators is this modern-day slavery we fall into trying to appease the YouTube algorithm. They want consistent content, and once you take that leap into being a full-time creator, you have to keep the boss happy in that fashion for sure. So really, even with all the ridiculous censorship that has slowly increased like a noose around our neck for the last 4 to 5 years, there's always that demand. And with that demand taking up 10 to 14 hours of your daily life, it's really hard to branch out into other platforms and do it right, with the level of quality content I'm wanting to provide. Now, I've been fortunate enough to work with this ad agency out of California over the past year or so. They represent some pretty big influencers, as the kids say. These guys have been absolutely awesome. Shout out to Ian. So with their help, I'm going to be setting up a .tv channel that, after looking at the big picture long term, will be the safest way for me to easily get honest, unfiltered quality news and commentary into your hands literally, with really no one in the middle, playing games, no app stores shutting things down, no progressive server farms, performing acts of virtue shutting down entire platforms. This will open up the conversation into all kinds of fun stuff. I'll be able to talk all about my trips, like in December when I had this itch I just couldn't scratch, so I took a little drive down to Denver to see if Big D Voting Systems was really that solid and trustworthy company that one would expect when it comes to election integrity. Here's a hint, they're not. Or when I met the leader of the Proud Boys down in Miami, one of the coolest guys you'd ever want to meet. Enrique was an absolute badass, completely down to earth, totally awesome guy. I'll be able to interview people I've wanted to interview for years, from political folks to brilliant writers that sadly don't get heard. These are the things I've done in the past, but YouTube essentially shadowed the content to the point that I was honestly embarrassed for the people I actually interviewed. I'll be able to do documentary-style trips every so often, like the one I did a couple of years ago down to the border, but had to edit it down to the point that it was almost unwatchable because the community guidelines we're ruled by are so strict. I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but for the most part, this should suffice as an explanation and a bit of a game plan for now. With that being said, I'll be posting here daily and on BitChute. We will build these channels back up while the .tv app grows into something I think will end up being very unique and special in a suddenly turned, very bland, scripted, and controlled world socially. But in the meanwhile, if you could help get the word out to other subs lost out there in YouTube land somewhere by mentioning where we are in the comments section of other similar content or like-minded videos out there, that would be absolutely awesome. Every little bit helps, and after all, the conservative political content on this platform has been vastly reduced over the years, obviously. I'll be getting back to our more usual broadcasting style and content this evening, when we will be discussing Fox News and the typical characters within already attacking and attempting to cancel Kayleigh McEnany before her first show even airs. So as always, if you liked it, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, leave a comment down below. There's a PayPal link in the description box, so please put $1 in the bucket on the way out the door. I'd like to thank everybody for all your donations. They're much needed and much appreciated. Now, with all that being said, we'll see you next time.
Come on, move! Move! Easy, easy.